I got a comment after from a brother. He said, well, what if I just don't want any friends? What if I'm just tired of being around people? And at this point in my life, I've been through so many friendships, so many relationships, where I always feel like I'm the one that's giving more, where I always feel like it ends up in some sort of betrayal, someone taking advantage of me. And at this point, I'm just sick of people. And it reminded me instantly of a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, الَّذِي يُخَالِطُ النَّاسِ وَيَصْبِرُ عَلَى أَذَاهُمْ خَيْرٌ مِنَ الَّذِي لَا يُخَالِطُ النَّاسِ وَلَا يَصْبِرُ عَلَى أَذَاهُمْ. That the one who mixes with the people and encounters what naturally is some of the hardship that comes when you deal with people is better than the one who shuns the people and does not tolerate what comes from them, is not patient with the hardship that comes from them. And that hadith obviously is speaking about encountering people and mixing with the people in a healthy way, injecting ihsan, injecting excellence in spaces that lack excellence, injecting trust in spaces that have been poisoned by betrayal, bringing good language to places where foul language is normal, bringing Allah's remembrance to places where He is not remembered. All of these things is what is being spoken about, and obviously no one tolerated more abuse than the Prophet ﷺ, despite who he was, alayhi salatu wasalam. Right? Nice people generally get taken advantage of. Honest people generally end up in situations that they regret. And so a question comes up, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I have gotten to a certain age in my life. They talk about the innocence of someone who's young. By the time you've gone through enough business partnerships and relationships and friendships, you're just done. You become a very jaded person. And of course, with some, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help them, that's even marriages, right? Betrayal in marriages and hardship that comes through that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease that pain and allow us to have healthier marriages without betrayal and infidelity and some of the things that people encounter, despite doing everything they're supposed to do in a marriage. So it can leave you as a very jaded person. So where do we go from here? And I wanted to actually reflect on some of the analogies from the Prophet ﷺ and his companions, and then what that means for us, something constructive in a few minutes. I found a beautiful narration from Abu Darda radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. قال أدركت الناس ورقا لا شوك فيه. He said that, I remember living amongst people, and they were like leaves with no thorns. Meaning you walk around and you don't have to worry about something pricking you, right? I lived amongst honest people. I know what it was like to be in a generation of honest, God-fearing people. He said, فَأَصْبَحُوا شَوْكًا لَا وَرَقَ فِيهِ. And then I saw it change completely, where there are thorns everywhere, and I don't see just innocent leaves. I'm going to get pricked right and left, even if I'm not doing anything. He said, إِن نَقَدْتَهُمْ نَقَدُوكَ. Which my translation would be the best thing. If you mess with them, they'll mess with you too. Okay, if you kind of agitate, or if you criticize, or if you give advice, it'll come back towards you as well. وَإِن تَرَكْتَهُمْ لَا يَتْرُكُوكَ. But the problem is that if you leave people alone, they won't leave you alone. So you can, get in the game basically, and you can muscle your way through the way that people deal with each other, and you're not going to come out clean, right? They're going to get right back at you, even if you're not a zalim. Just in general, it's going to be tough. Or even if you leave people alone, they will not leave you alone, right? You don't get involved in any trouble. You don't do anything to agitate or to aggravate. You just keep to yourself, and still people are going to talk about you. Still people are going to mess with you. Still people are going to make claims about you. You're still going to find yourself in a mess because people have become collectively messier. And so they said to Abu Darda radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, okay, فَكَيْفَ نَصْنَعْ? What are we supposed to do when that time comes? قَالَ تُقْرِضْهُمْ مِنْ عِرْضِكَ لِيَوْمِ فَقْرِكَ. He said, loan them your name for a day in which you will be impoverished. You'll be in poverty. Loan them your name. Let them have it. Let them speak about you. Let them say things about you. Let them, take shots at you. Let them prick. Because there will come a day of poverty. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned that al-aktharun, that those people that have a lot will have such little on the day of judgment. Except for those, of course, who were people of charity and goodness. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned al-muflis, a bankrupt person on the day of judgment. Some people will show up on the day of judgment with salah, with prayer, with fasting, with all types of good deeds. And it will all go away in front of their eyes because it's a credit card. All these people that you hurt, سَبَّ هَذَا وَشَتَمَ هَذَا وَاغْتَابَ هَذَا وَضَرَبَ هَذَا, they're all going to line up one by one and take your good deeds until you're left with nothing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from being amongst them. Allahumma ameen.